in the individual network has been actually very significant, and most of this has been in the last 2 to 3 years. So we've seen a 408% growth in the network expansion. Now what this means is that this network is actually very, very young, and this network has not been fully productive yet. So the opportunity for the company is to really continue to get maximum revenues out of the network that has already been built on the B2C side and be able to have a nice runway of growth into the next few years. What's interesting also is that most of this network has been asset light and third party, which means that it's not on our balance sheet or our P&L, and we are only doing non-fixed cost on our balance sheet that keeps the company very lean and very light. Overall, the organization, while we focus very heavily on quality, on brand, on experience, the financial metrics of the organization also are very, very healthy. The ROCEs are close to 64% ROCE. We are at a 27.8% EBITDA margin, and the free cash flow conversion is also extremely high. What we have done is that when we look at, I'll just take you to this slide, which shows us as to how we have broken up the organic model into few pieces. If you see the top 5 cities, which what we call the focus cities, these are Bombay, Pune, Chennai, Bangalore and Surat, some of the fastest growing markets in India and the highest GDP per capita in India as well. We are leaders in all these markets. Today we have anything, not significant market shares in these markets, even though we are the leaders. And this is where we believe that the great opportunity is, that we believe that we can double our network in these markets as we move forward and continue to increase significant market share in these focus city markets. These currently contribute about 63% of our revenue, and these will continue to be good growing markets for us, which will continue to provide profitability as well. We have a second category of cities, what we call as seeding cities, which are approximately 8 in nature. Now, some of these markets we are already leaders, we are number 1 in these markets. In some of these markets we are number 2 or number 3. This is again where we believe the opportunity is to be able to expand our network, create a breadth of network expansion, be able to increase the number of patients that we are getting through our network, and soon move from being sort of a number 2 or number 3, hopefully, closer to a number 1. So these will become our next growth engine besides the focus cities as we move forward. These top 13 cities out of the total 173 cities that we are present in is going to be the area that we are going to focus. Because while we may say India is a very large country, the truth is that majority of the growth, majority of the profitability and majority of the diagnosis is actually happening in these 13 cities. So we want to stay very focused. We want to make sure that we are really going deep and building leadership in these markets rather than spreading ourselves everywhere. And of course, we continue to have labs and presence in these other 160 cities as well, which will become the growth engine of the organization in the future. If I can just quickly take you to this slide, which shows you our operational infrastructure, and it might be difficult for you to read from there, so I'll just give you a quick summary. The quick summary is we have our global reference laboratory, which is headquartered in Bombay, where we do the entire range of 4,000 tests and profiles. We then have 12 regional reference laboratories, which are in all the major markets of India, including Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, Calcutta, Pune, etc. And these regional reference laboratories have the ability to do approximately 500 varieties of tests. Then we have what we call as satellite laboratories and express laboratories, which are smaller and which have the ability to do anything from 20 to 100 varieties of tests and give reports very quickly for routine tests. Now what's interesting about this network is that while we have built our front-end network by 408%, as I showed you on the first slide, if you see point 3, our lab network has only grown by 1.5 times, which means the productivity per lab is actually on the increase. And this we believe will be a big benefit for the organization in the time to come. What this also tells us is that we have already invested in the infrastructure in the past. We actually do not believe that we are going to require a great amount of capex for investment as we go forward, because we have already made our investments in infrastructure in the past and had borne the cost not only of capex but also of opex in our margins as well. And therefore, we don't believe that this will be a great requirement for the organization in terms of capital investment going forward. If I can just therefore take you to the 3 levers of growth as I mentioned to you. One is the organic growth, which clearly we differentiated into the B2C and the B2B category. We're very clear which cities we are going to focus on for each of them. The second lever is growth through acquisitions and integration. In the past, Metropolis has done about 20 to 25 acquisitions in the last 18 years of being in a growth mode. We have been probably the leaders in showing how acquisitions can be done in this industry, and we have been known to have the culture of partnership, of acquiring labs. We acquire individual pathology labs or small chains. We bring them into our system, we integrate them, we create back-end synergies, and we grow them on the front end. All of our, or most of our acquisitions have had a tremendous benefit and growth that have come out of it, and this is a strategy that we wish to continue doing into the future as we have been doing for the last 18 years, and this, we believe, puts us in a position of being a great consolidator of this particular market. The third area of growth really are new business opportunities and new innovative models that we've come up with, which I won't go into too much detail, but we believe will also give us growth kickers on top of the normal industry growth of 15%, which we believe with the combination of all these three, we should significantly, we feel we are currently significantly already outpacing industry growth as we speak today, as well as what we see of other people's data on the markets.